Hello, welcome to more Lawrence County history. Today we are going to be talking about one of the many hotels that actually was in Ironton. Now, we now have two hotels, which we are very proud of, that are recently built, but at one time there was quite a few different hotels. And this one is Buckeye House is one of the very first hotels. The very first hotel in Ironton was called the Ironton House. But this one is called the Buckeye House. It's really interesting. There was actually an ad placed in the it was placed in the Ironton Register, which was the newspaper at the time. And it includes, the Buckeye House was on Lawrence Street between 2nd and 3rd in Ironton, Ohio. And it is a house of entertainment. This is written in August 8th, 1859 by T. Cochran. And basically, he describes the house is a new and furnished in style to make every boarder and guest comfortable. The tables will be supplied with the best to be found in the market, and the sleeping rooms are furnished with clean and neat bedding. There's good stabling for horses, and in short, everything is requisite for the superior public house. Charges will be reasonable. And that was his ad that he took out. Now, as I said, Buckeye House was located on Lawrence Street between 2nd and 3rd Street in Ironton. And it was surrounded by other businesses, including E.F. Moore's Cigar Store, which is located behind the hotel, and D.C. Davis's Dry Goods was located across the street. It was one of the first hotels, as I said, but it actually may have been the second hotel built in Ironton. The T. Cochran was the manager. However, in 1849, David Cochran was listed as a proprietor or manager. In fact, David was not only the proprietor, but he was also the builder. And he was originally from Burlington, and he was a well-known painter. In the early years, the Buckeye House had many guests. Some of its first boarders were the men who were employed in building the town of Ironton. Of course, the construction people needed a place to stay, and this is where they would go. The Buckeye House offered rooms to rent as well as convenient stables for horses, and M. Greenwood was one of the men who kept the stable for the hotel. The hotel's landlord was Henry Stone, and he was a confectioner who gained success living in Chicago, Illinois. Confectioner means candy maker. In 1872, the hotel switched owners to T.J. Davis, and he found himself sued in June of 1872 by Mrs. Justice. According to Mrs. Justice, her husband bought whiskey at the hotel before he stumbled out of the building. He was later killed by a train, and she contended that it was the fault of the hotel for providing her husband the alcohol. The court agreed with Mrs. Justice and awarded her $9,000. 6 years later, the Buckeye House found itself at the center of a criminal investigation when Charles Philgrove was convicted in March of 1878 for manslaughter. Philgrove had a fight with Mr. Hellwig in the hotel, and during the altercation, Philgrove stabbed Hellwig for his crime. And Charles Philgrove was sentenced to the Ohio Penitentiary for 1 year. Now, there's a lot of information about different hotels in Lawrence County and different businesses, and you can find those all in our local history and genealogy department, the Phyllis Hamner room. It is open during the week. Please call ahead to make sure we are available. There's also two excellent books to keep in mind if you're looking about old crimes. There is the Old Crimes Book 1, Lawrence County, Ohio, Volume 1. It's published in 2019 by Sharon M. Coons and Martha J. Coons. And you can also find more information about local history by going through some of our old newspapers that go back to 1850. Thank you for tuning in and learning more about the Buckeye House, and I will talk to you. I'll see you next time.